Raf, you need to turn your video on.
Okay, we are now live on Facebook and YouTube. We are Gateway Church, and today we have our youth life and this evening. And the idea and the hope is that we're going to give you guys the opportunity to ask us some questions on Christianity and God and all the things that are going on at the moment. Why not ask us? So please, I'm just going to give another few minutes to see some people join us for this live chat. We have Rian with us. Welcome, Rian. Here we go. We have James with us today. Let us just give another few seconds, a minute or so to wait for more people to join us at our live this evening. So we are live now. If we just turn in, we are live now on Facebook and also on YouTube. And once again, I repeat myself, we are Gateway Youth, and we are live today just to give you guys the opportunity just to ask us some questions. Could be bigger questions about Christianity, about God, about our faith and what we believe. I know there's so much going on at the moment, and I believe that a lot of people out there maybe with so many questions to ask us Christians. And why not? We are going to give you guys this opportunity to do this right now. So just join us. So just share our videos, our link to any of your friends, and give them this opportunity as well to join us this evening. We are going to be here with you for the next half an hour or so, and having a chat together. I'm just going to introduce our team for a minute. Of course, I could easily answer any of your questions because I'm a really clever guy, but no, of course not. We have a team behind us as Gateway. It's not just about Raphael, the youth worker, but have really good and great people that's going to be join us today at this live in Gateway Church for Gateway Church. So we have Rosie Hills just join us, and Julie Kale with us. Hi, Julie. Thank you for joining us right now, and Rosie. So if I just ask everyone part of this part of the team to join us right now, so we can introduce you guys. As just said, it's not Raphael going live, but is everyone from Gateway Youth going live, and today just want to have the opportunity really just to give you guys basically the opportunity to ask us some very important questions, and have this wonderful team here with us right now. We have Courtney all the way from USA. She's going to be helping us today, and of course our great friend Connor, again from USA. So is Brazilians and Americans joined together, and of course our Welsh people as well. So we have Rian. I think Rian's kind of half new, Rian, or just Welsh? Half and half. Ria's English Welsh.
Actually, so Welsh.
Yeah, she's welcome. Thank you, Ria, for joining us. And Ellie, Ellie, I know since she was like 40 years old. So, no. But I know Ellie for a long time. Ellie's going to be helping us this evening as well. Welcome, Ellie. Our great friend, James, as well. Welcome on board, James. And of course, nevertheless, our good friend, Rosie. is going to be joining us as well and helping us to answer some of those questions. We already say that we're not here to say that they're going to answer you the question that you want to hear, but we just want to give you a little bit of what Christianity believe or what Christianity can answer in some of those questions. I can just, Jenny Ralph is here with us as well, and Gemma from PCY. Hello, Gemma. Thank you for watching us right now. We do have a question to start off. I'm just gonna wait another few seconds, and then we're gonna have our first question to start us off. And then please, guys, send us your question, and then we're gonna try our best to answer as best as you can to you. You have Alice from PCY as well. Hello, Alice. Great seeing you. Tell your brother to turn his phone as well. Sam, where is Sam? Hello, Gemma. So yeah, it's really great to see you guys. All right. So shall we have people as well, not just here on Facebook, guys, as I said, but have more people as well following us on YouTube. So it's really good, and it's a great opportunity for us as church, yeah, and as youth, really, putting our face out there and be able to answer some of those really big questions that we believe you guys are going to be sending to us. So it's very good, and it's a great opportunity for us to be doing this right now. So we have who else we have in here, guys? Gareth Lloyd. Hi, Gareth. So it's great to see you guys. Thanks for joining us this evening. Love to the family and all the kids. Great to have you here with us. And Eleanor, of course. Eleanor is following us as well because she's there. Very good, Ellen. Well done, Ellie. So let's go for our first question. And for our first question, I'm going to ask Ellie to stay, Courtney, and Rian to stay for our first question. And then as the question comes up, we are going to be inviting our leaders to join us back again. So guys, we have Roger Crook is with us. I can't even say his surname, so I'm just going to say Rogers. Roger the Gardener. Here you go. That's much easier. Roger the Gardener is here with us. Hi, Rog. Here we go. Roger the Gardener. Check in. Well done. Thank you very much. So our first question, guys, is this. Why would a loving God allow COVID? Okay, why we Christians, yeah, we believe that our God is a loving God. He's a good father. He's a great guy, yeah. And how is God so loving, allowing all these deaths going on and all these diseases going on and people suffering? Why a God so loving that he is allowing us to go through this? So if I ask Ellie to start us off, yeah, and then we go to Rian and then Courtney as well. So Ellie, welcome. What could you say to us about God, this loving God, allowing us to go through this time right now?
So I'd say like God didn't really intend for the world to be like this, but because of Adam and Eve eating the apple, it like made sin come into the world, and that doesn't God didn't intend for the world to be this way. Like, God loves us, and when suffering and things like COVID do happen, God's heart, like, it breaks with us. Like, he loves us so much, he doesn't want any of this to be happening. And through all of the suffering, God's always there and he's taking care of us, like, all the time. So like, I found this time quite difficult because like my brother's working on a COVID ward and then my dad's working in a hospital. And I've basically felt quite powerless through this whole situation. And I've had to put so much trust in God that despite, life's not too good right now and things are suffering, this is the closest I've ever been with God because I've had to rely on him so much, like, to keep them safe, to keep us safe. And like, he has, like, when we're struggling and suffering, like, he's watching over you and he's always taking care of you despite whatever's going on. He doesn't want it to be this way.
Absolutely. God is not a punishing God. No, he's not here to punish us. He's a loving God. So if you just jump straight to you, Rian, what's your take on the same question, this loving God allowing COVID to us right now? What's that all about?
Yeah, I really agree with what Ellie said. God didn't intend for the world to be a bad place. God intended for a perfect earth and a perfect relationship with humans. And unfortunately, humans chose to sin. And in doing that, put this barrier between them and God, and the world was filled with evil and bad things happen now. And as hard as that is, we really believe that God uses these situations still. He works in these situations still. And as Ellie said, if you draw close to God during these times, if you say, right, God, just here I am, use me during this time, then we really do believe that God will be there for you, even when there is pain, even when there is suffering. We don't believe as Christians that God doesn't let us suffer, because that's not the way it is. But we do believe that he's there with us and he walks through it with us.
Absolutely. Just before I ask Courtney to join us on this, to answering this question, we have more people following us. I have Lisa. Thank you for watching us, Lisa. You have Andrew Ralph. Hello, Andrew. Andrew Ralph is there as well. And it's great, guys. Thank you for your support and to join us this evening. Joab is there as well, I believe. We just had a text from him. So Courtney, over to you, my lovely American friend. What can you say about this loving God allowing us to go through this?
Yeah, I think this is like such an important question, and it's one that as Christians, as any human being, you're going to wrestle with this in your life, because the longer you live, the more opportunities there are to suffer in various forms. And I know in my life, I've suffered death of lost, like I've lost loved ones. I've suffered so many different types of things. And as a Christian, I've had to ask myself, why would God allow this to me? And I think what both Ree and Ellie said was so good, that this is not the world, the way it is right now in its broken state isn't necessarily how God created the world. As Christians, we believe God created the world perfectly. And so in the brokenness of the world, that's a fact. Each of us can plainly see that. And COVID is such a clear example of how broken the world is, that it wasn't really caused by anyone. It's just a natural evil in the world, as we would say. But here's one thing that is so unique about Christianity, and it really is so compelling to me in my suffering, kind of like Ellie said, is that God doesn't leave us alone in it. And not only does God not leave us alone, he literally entered into the world through Jesus, and he lived a life of suffering. And that's something that has become so precious to me over the past few years, is that as I read the Bible, I see that Jesus, who is God and who became man, that he didn't live an easy life. He didn't come and live in a palace. He wasn't treated like a king. He was betrayed by his closest friends. He was crucified on a cross. He lost loved ones. Sorry, the cat. Jesus felt pain and suffered, and he gets our suffering, and he cares. And he not only cares and sympathizes and says, I know what it's like to suffer. He paid the ultimate price to give us healing. And that's something that for me, it doesn't tell us why God allows suffering, but the answer is that Jesus died for us so that we could not only have a relationship with him and spend eternity with him in heaven, but he gives us healing now. We can heal from our wounds now. And so I just think Jesus is such a unique person, and he's so different than a lot of other religions we might see, that it's not just work your way to God, even if you suffer, just be perfect and work your way to God. It's no, God came to you and he suffered, and he suffered for you. And so that's something that is a real comfort to me in my suffering, is that, you know what? God's not some distant deity out there. He's close, he's near, and he suffered for me. And because of our relationship with God, we actually find healing and wholeness. So I think the answer of why he allows these things, that's not something I don't think we can answer. I haven't come to an answer. If you guys have an answer, if you guys have thoughts, we'd love to hear your thoughts. But I think for me, it's, you know what? God doesn't leave us alone in our suffering. He enters into it, and he makes our suffering actually beautiful. That's the amazing thing. He redeems it all. So yeah, I know many of you are in a really difficult time, and we'd love to pray for you. We'd love to know how we can pray for you. Let us know how we can do that. We love your questions. Keep them coming in. Yeah, but that's some of my thoughts, Raf.
That's beautiful, Courtney. Thank you for sharing. And one thing that you said that's really important and very special to me, that I don't see Christianity as a religion. It's much more than this. It's a relationship. It's actually that connection that you can have with God. And as we are suffering, we are not here Christians saying that we are taking this COVID really easy. We have God, everything's so easy. No, it's tough for us as well, Christians. But you know that the relationship that we can have with God, He can sustain us. He can help us to go through this time that all of us are facing. So that's the great secret. Thank you, ladies, for helping us. We're gonna go to our next question. Just before I tell you our next question, we have more people join us. We have Emma. And as I said, guys, we are not just on Facebook. We are on YouTube. On YouTube, we have Bailey join us. Hi, Bailey. You just saw Bailey earlier at our youth club. And I have Megan as well, and Jess, and BJ Jones. Who is BJ Jones? I don't know. But thank you for joining us this evening. So it's great stuff, guys. So here we go. We have a question. Our next question is very can be quite a deep question. So that's why I invite Rosie, because she's a really clever girl. Now we have Rosie and Connor to help us on this next question. And the question is this: why do we need God when science tells us everything we need to know? Why we need this God? Science told us everything. We don't need to know anything else about, creation or evolution. What's that? It's all science. Who needs God? Yeah. So why do we need this God? Yeah, if you can find all the answers in science. So if we start with Rosie first, Rosie, if you can just explain what your view on that question as a Christian. Thank you very much, Rosie. Welcome.
Yeah, as a Christian, I'd say that, so I'm doing a physics degree, and I obviously believe in God. I'm a Christian, and I don't think that science tells us everything that we need to know. I don't see Christianity and believing in God and Jesus as being two separate things. I think that they actually complement each other. And it's not a question of why do we need a God if science tells us this? Well, why do I need anything if I've got something else? It just doesn't make sense to ask that kind of question, because it's not, the thing that God isn't is a God of the gaps. And it's not that why would you need a God to fill this if we already know everything? Well, no, we don't believe in a God of a gaps where if we don't know something, then it must be God. That's not the kind of God we believe in. We believe that, in this, the science is sound, and we believe that God actually backs the science. Just because we know how it happened doesn't mean that God isn't there behind it all.
No, that's great. I think that they can easily combine together, isn't there? But knowing that behind everything, we do believe that God's behind all this science and everything that we believe. So Connor, what can you add at this question for us, please?
Yeah, man. I mean, I definitely am down with it. Like, science does not explain everything, man. I mean, science explains the how, not the why. That's what it explains. And with God, we explain the why. Like, what is our purpose here? What is, why are we here? And, when you look at science is just the mechanics. It's not about this gigantic logos. And even if you look at science, it doesn't even explain the how of the universe. It doesn't even explain, okay, how did this come about? And some people do say oh, well, it was just a random occurrence. But how can a random occurrence happen from nothing? And even if you look at scientists even today, look at John Lennox, he's a Christian, but he's a professor at Oxford of mathematics. This is a scientist who is a Christian. And so science and Christianity can work together in unison.
Absolutely, Connor. It's a very sensitive topic, and when you talk about God and science, but I think as a conclusion, we can say that why not? God is behind science. We believe that God's behind it. If all the things that they can say that science did or didn't do, or create. We believe that God's behind it as Christians. Just before, guys, we move on to our to another questions. Please, guys, we are loving you guys. You're commenting and join us this evening, but we ask you for your questions. Please leave your questions and send us a text, yeah, and let us know what can you answer you, yeah, or something that can add to this group. What I would like to know from us Christians. And talking about Christianity, thank you, Connor and Rosie. Thank you for joining us, and I'm gonna see you guys later on. We have another questions coming up, and the question is this: if isn't Christianity all about following a lot of rules? Why would I want to do that? For a lot of people, it's like that, isn't it? Being a Christian is following a lot of rules. Thank you very much. My life is good. But is it really? Is being Christians about following rules? To answer this question, I'm going to ask James, Connor, and Courtney to join us. And guys, I just would like to hear from you guys. You had this question. And what can you say? You're going to start with James. And what can you, or how can you answer this question, James? That, you know, being a Christian is just following rules. We don't want to follow rules, James. So
yeah,
what is it then?
Definitely. You hear this question asked a lot. I definitely have. And I guess for me, I don't look at it as when you become a Christian, you follow all of these rules and they're there to make life boring and no fun. But actually, all of the rules that you see in the Bible, they're all there to be helpful to you, to help you live the best life that you possibly can. They're all healthy rules, things that we definitely should be doing. You know, if we follow these rules, we'll live a healthy, happy life. So they're not there to make my life sad or boring, but to actually make it quite enjoyable and actually help me live life to the max.
Absolutely, James. Absolutely. I think being a Christian is living life to the max, isn't it? It's not following rules, but living a life to the max, to the full, really. If you go with Connor, what can you say to us, Connor, on that? So you are a Christian, so all you do is following rules to please God, is that?
Yeah, definitely, Ralph. No. So this has definitely been, you know, I used to be a non-believer, and that's what I used to think, because I grew up in the Southern Baptist arena, and my grandparents were very legalistic, very much like read the Bible every day, go to church every day, go do this every day. Like it was rule following. But as I've grown in Christianity, as I've like grown to know Lord, it's not about I have to do these things. It's I get to do these things. It's a privilege to do these things. Like I get to serve people not because I have to or something bad will happen. It's I serve a great God and I can be good in his goodness. So it's a privilege for me to be a Christian, not something I'm being forced to do.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. We had just before I go to you, Courtney, you just had Nicola join us as well on Facebook, and we just had a question from someone from watching us on YouTube. So we're going to go to that question after. But just as a conclusion, Courtney, what can you say about being a Christian and following rules?
Yeah, like the guys said, I think this is a really common thing to think about Christianity. And especially if you grow up in a culture where the idea of Christianity is you read a certain thing every day, you go to do certain practices, you can't do this, you can't go see this, you can't do that. I mean, it's really easy to think that being a Christian equates to shutting down everything good in your life, you know, or like taking away anything that makes you happy. But I think the two things I think of when it comes to like living by rules is the first thing I think of is like a sporting game. One of my favorite sports is basketball. I know it's not as popular in the UK as it is in America, but like I played basketball for many years of my life. And can you just imagine like a football game or a basketball game with no rules, no boundaries, nothing to tell you how to achieve success, how to be better, how to stop bad things from happening? Can you just imagine even one football match with no rules? It would be manic, wouldn't it? And that's how life is. You know, our traffic rules. Yeah, sometimes we drive, and even if I'm not speeding, if I drive past a police officer, I get nervous because it's like, oh my gosh, you know, but like rules are there to help us know how to flourish or live how we're supposed to. And Christianity, like James said, is like that. Like when God says you shouldn't murder, you shouldn't steal, you should not, commit adultery against your spouse. Those are all things that can sound restrictive. But if you think about it, if you disobey those and you live freely and you do whatever you want, it's going to be like that football match or that basketball game with no rules. It's going to be manic, The second thing I thought of is, okay, I've never been in love, but for anyone who has been in love, can you just think about the sort of rules that come with being in love? You don't feel obligated to write that love note. You don't feel obligated to send that text saying, hey, thinking of you. You don't feel obligated to get a card on your anniversary. Those are all things you do because you love the person. So you don't feel obligated not to cheat on that person, even though that's a rule. You should not cheat on your significant other. We don't think about it like that because we're in love. And it's like, oh, you could take my very breath. I would die for you. You know what I'm saying? So being in Christianity is a lot like both being in a basketball game and being in a loving relationship. Rules are not there to suppress or oppress you or take the life from you. Rules are there because God wants to give you the best life, a life of freedom and flourishing. And it's a love relationship. So like Connor said, we don't have to read the Bible, but we love to read the Bible. We love to pray because that's where we get to spend time with the person we love. So yeah, there's rules in Christianity, but there's rules in any good thing in life, from relationships to football matches. And none of us keep those rules perfectly. None of us do. And that's why Jesus is so central to our faith, because Jesus kept the commands or the rules of God perfectly. And that's why he is our savior, because where we fall short, our faith in him is what allows us to keep going in that freedom. So yeah, it's a very good question, common question, but I think Christians have a really good answer because we're just in love with an amazing God.
Absolutely. I think the point I got from you guys is that it's not that we have to, you want to. That's very special, isn't it? You want to do it. I don't go to church because I have to. I go to church because I want to spend time with my brothers and sisters. I want to be in fellowship with my friend. I want to be in contact with God, and spend that time together with my brothers and sisters. So we don't do that because we have to, but because we want to do it. That's very, very good point. Thank James and Connor. Courtney, you stay there because I have a question for you. Yeah, someone got a question for you. And I'm going to invite Rosie to come back. And it's a very special and good question. Very, very good question. We had this from someone watching us on YouTube. Before I say the question, let me check in here. You have Tracy with us. Tracy, who is helping the PCY group. Hi, Tracy. Great seeing you. We have Claire Mayrick. Hi, Claire. Love to you, and Gemma, and Lewis, and Rosie. There's got all the guests. See, I remember all of them. Great. Thank you guys for supporting us and watching us live. Here's the question, girls. Are you ready? Here you go. It's a very, 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 very important question. How do you know God is real? Yeah. Me, Raphael, or for a lot of my friends says, Raph, couldn't God just be there and then I can touch him and like, hi God, yes, he's here. It's much easier for me to, if I can see him physically. But for us Christians, it's not like that, isn't it? It's not that simple. Just like I can see it, I can touch it. Yeah, it's real. So how would you answer that question to those who's out there right now think, wait a minute, how do you guys know this God is real? If you go to Courtney first, please.
Yeah, that's such a good question because, I think it's easy to say, oh, I can't see him. He must not be real. I'm not bothered to even try, but I think just to ask that question, I think is so amazing. And it speaks highly of that person because, I don't know who asked it, but I'm just thinking you're genuinely wanting to know. You guys are Christians. How can you claim to know this God that you've never seen? And I think, I could separate it out and say, what I can't answer is prove to me God is real. That's a question I can't answer. You know, there are many things that in this life we cannot prove to be true. Like, for instance, I don't know, that the Big Bang happened. You know, we can't necessarily prove, you know, and so I can't prove that God is real. I can't show you evidence that here it is, here's the evidence, but what I have to say is this: I know God is true because of personal experience. And you know, many people might say, that's not really compelling. And that's fine. But you know, when you have experienced something so profound that maybe other people haven't experienced, you don't necessarily need to be able to prove it to other people to know it's true. And so, say for instance, someone went on an amazing trip to like Thailand or something. I've never been there. And they say, I had the best time and this is what happened to me. I might say, do you have pictures to prove it? No, we were having such a good time. I didn't take a picture. Okay, well, is there an email, like a record that you did this? And they say, no, but I promise you, let me tell you all about it. Here's what happened. I'm telling you, it was amazing. I have to take it on their word, right? That they experienced that in Thailand. And not that a trip to Thailand and being in a relationship with God is the same thing, but my personal testimony is kind of like that. Do I have, you know, this evidence that I had this encounter with God? Yeah, I do. There's not a picture to prove it, but I can tell you how he's changed my life. And hopefully, if a person spends time with me, they would say, you know what? I can't prove that this God she's talking about is real, but I see her life and she lives like it's real. And that doesn't mean I'm just some sentimental, blind faith kind of person. Genuinely, I have been changed by a God. So, you know, if you doubt my trip to Thailand, that's okay. But I would say this: God says in the Bible, if you seek me with your whole heart, you will find me. So if you really are questioning, God, are you real? My advice to you is seek him with your whole heart. You know, if you're wrong, if I'm wrong and he's not real, what have you got to lose? But if he is real, and I am right, that he is real, if I am right, then, you know, we've got everything to lose. So take that and really just seek him with your whole heart. That's what I would say.
Absolutely. It's an experience, isn't it, Courtney? It's not just like, yeah, he's there. He's there. No, it's that journey that we said, that relationship. And then you start to realize this is real. This guy is real. Yeah, it's that relationship. Well done. Thank you very much. Rosie, just before I go to you, we had Rhiannon. Can I say it right? Is Rhiannon? Something like that, is it? Thank you for joining us live as well. Our great friend as well, Brandon, is there as well, and Carol as well. So thank you guys for tuning in and join us. And my great friend Jonathan Grace is there as well. Hi, Jonathan. Great to have you with us, mate. Now we have another question about the Bible. You just mentioned a Bible at the end of your talk, Courtney. Answering your question, and in a minute we're gonna go through ask you guys a question about the Bible. But Rosie, over to you. So this God is real, is he? So tell us about it.
So I'm kind of going to link on what Courtney said, and that she kind of explained how we see God in real life today. But sometimes, you know, when you hear people say, "Oh, well, this is what happened in my life," you're like, "Well, has it really?" But we also have the Bible as well as today's, real people today's testimonies. And in the Bible, we know that there are widely acknowledged historical facts that aren't disputable. Even outside of the Bible, there's other sources, and historians today would not disagree with these, because they are facts, such as Jesus died due to crucifixion. He was buried. Jesus' death caused the disciples to despair and lose hope. The disciples were transformed from doubters who were afraid to identify with Jesus to bold proclaimers of his death and resurrection, even being willing to die for this belief. And there's so many more. I've got 12 listed here. And even when he was resurrected, that 500 people all saw him at the same time. And so looking through the facts, there's loads of different, you know, people try and put different explanations to this. Well, his body might have been just stolen or anything like that. But when you really look at the facts, you can rule out that his body was stolen, that that they were just lying. He never really died. And there's so many other things I don't want to get into it yet because it's not the question. But yeah, so I think when you look at those 12 facts and look at the Bible and his story, you can see that God is real just by looking at that. There's no other explanation for the events that have taken place other than God is real. And I think seeing things like that makes you think, oh, well, you know, God's real.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ruth. I think I would definitely advise you guys, just follow what Courtney just said as well earlier, is about ask. Yeah, ask. Maybe you have people watching us right now, like, guys, you can say whatever you want. I'm still not going to believe it. But I believe, or we believe in a God that can speak to you. Believe in it or not, he can speak to you. So why not ask, God, are you real? Show me. Show me you're real. And really believe he is going to find a way that you understand that he can be real in your life too. Thank you, ladies. We're going to jump to our next question. I can invite Connor and Rian to join us now. Just before I tell you, I ask you the question. Can I ask you guys, why not on your chat, just tell us, talking about the Bible now, yeah? So is the, let's say, the manual, as the guide for the Christians. It's a very special book to us. Is that just a book? I'm going to find out in a minute. But please, why not just type, what would be your favorite book in the Bible? Just type in there. So maybe there is a special book in the Bible for you that's very, very special. So type on our comments so you can see. We also have Maria. Of course, Maria is there. Maria is there as well, following us and joining us. And Katie as well. Katie Short. Oh, I haven't seen Kate for a while. How are you doing, Kate? Great to see you. Great to see you join us this evening. Well done. So here you go, Connor and Rian. Here's the question. Okay. Let's go back in here because I have another question coming up. So here you go. Can I really trust, or can I really say the Bible is true? Isn't the Bible just another book like any other? Yeah. So is the Bible just another book to you guys, or is the Bible something more special than just a book? So if you go, Connor, to you first, brother, what can you say about it?
Yeah, so a lot of what I'm about to say is going to be a lot what Courtney and Rosie just said, because this does go a lot with that other question. The Bible has been studied so much by so many scholars, and there's so much research into this vast book with different amount of chapters. And so there's a lot of evidence out there to show that the Bible is historically true and factual. Now, there are some stories that are just stories, and they're more to tell the true nature of God. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's not true, because it does talk about God. Now, if we're going into more specific, like, was Jesus the Son of Man? That does take faith. That does take a lot of faith. And as Courtney says, that, you know, that's not something I can give you a document to prove. That's not something I can, like, throw down some, you know, fossils or some, like, you know, stuff to really prove. But it's something that I can prove by telling you my experience. You know, I like to, my relation with God is the same relation that I have with my best friend. I can't prove to you that that person is my best friend with a piece of paper or some documents, but I can definitely tell you about the experiences I've had with my best friend. And you're just gonna have to take me at my word that that person's my best friend. This is the same way of how faith works with Jesus. There's a lot of evidence for the Bible. And so, yeah, you can definitely trust the Bible is true because there's a lot of evidence behind it, but it does take faith to fully can believe in the Bible.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we Christians, we believe it's not just words in there, but we believe that God is speaking to us and helping us in our journey here on earth. So Rian, what's your take on that question, please?
Yeah, so some of the stories in the Bible, like Noah building an ark in this massive flood, nobody believed him. You can look at that and think, oh my goodness, that can't be real. That sounds ridiculous. Those sorts of things don't happen now. It must be fake. My favorite thing about the Bible is that in the Old Testament, there's a group of books by people called the prophets. And these people lived hundreds of years before Jesus existed, and they wrote things down that predicted Jesus's life. Particularly a book called Isaiah. This guy Isaiah just wrote down things that he thought he heard from God. And within that, he predicted actual things that happened to Jesus hundreds of years later. Now, I know I can't prove that God exists. I can't prove that Jesus existed or that it was true. But the fact that it's proved that Isaiah wrote those hundreds of years before Jesus existed and predicted his whole life, that sells it for me, because I can't disprove that. I love that part of the Bible.
Absolutely, guys. We can be talking here forever now about the Bible, because for us Christian is a very special book. It's not just reading a Harry Potter book, and a Lord of the Rings book, even though they're really great books for a lot of people. But the Bible is much more than this. As I just said, we really believe that it's God revealing Himself to us, through the Bible. We are going to be ending soon, guys, because of our time, but that doesn't mean it's going to be our last one. So we're really looking forward to do more things like this. But just going through our chart now. So we had Roger, our friend Roger, saying that his favorite book in the Bible is Job in the Old Testament, and Philippians in the New Testament is his favorite book. Carol said that Ruth is a beautiful story. Ruth is a really, really good book. Ruth, and have Hannah. Hi, Hannah. Hannah is a really good friend of ours as well. She helps a lot with the PCY youth, and she used to help us here in Gateway as well a few months ago. So when Ruth and Hannah is saying that First Corinthians is her favorite book, that's great. So guys, Rian, you can leave us for a bit, but Connor, you stay there. And I want to invite our great friend, Courtney, to come back, please. As I just said, we are going to come to an end for our chat, for our live chat this evening. But Connor and Courtney is being here with us in Gateway, helping us with the youth ministry for the past, 10 months or so. And for, let's say, 3 or 4 months in lockdown, but despite that, lot, guys, you being great. You being really faithful to your calling here to Wales, and on behalf of Gateway. So I'm saying this because it's their last Friday youth with us, as they're going home in the next 2 or 3 weeks, something like that. They need to go back to their lovely country. But yeah, on behalf of Gateway and as the youth worker of Gateway and the whole church, we just want to say a big thank you. You'd never, personally, me, Raphael, I would never be able to do all this amazing work that we do with the young people without your help and support. Literally, I couldn't do it. Or none of us in our team could do it. So we just want to give you guys a space, maybe just to say thank you or say some words of encouragement to us as you guys are here with us for the last time this evening. But who knows in the future? You never know the future. God may call you back to Wales again. Please, God. But yeah, we never know. But yeah, guys, just great to have you here with us. So let's start with the ladies first. Courtney, please could just share something that's in your heart to us, Welsh people and Brazilians. Something that you'd like to say to us and leave to us as you go. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Raf. I mean, I'm so grateful for technology during this time that we've been able to stay connected. And this is actually the first time in my life that I've worked consistently in youth. And it's just been one of the greatest years of my life. You guys are such a treasure to us. And man, it's just been amazing to cultivate relationships with so many of you. You guys are just bright lights. And I have loved every Friday night youth. Every time we get to meet for things like Going Deeper, or even in level 3s, when we get to gather together, it's just truly made my year and truly changed my life. I think you guys show me the spark that God is working in this generation and that there's so much more to come. And I just want to say thank you to so many people in Caerphilly and in Gateway and in Wales in general who have just welcomed me in. And it didn't take long for me to feel so at home. And it's been such a privilege to spend this time with you guys. And I do wish we could say goodbye in person, but I just want you to know how much God has changed my life and blessed me by being here. And I just want to thank all of you who consistently pour into youth at Gateway and at other churches across Wales. This is a beautiful, marvelous work that God is doing. And I am so privileged to have spent 10 months here just doing whatever I can to help and come alongside. You guys are an amazing group of people, and I'll never, ever, ever forget this time here. So thank you so much, and God bless you truly.
Thank God. Hashtag love you. And Courtney and Connor, they've been not just working with Gateway, but they had the great opportunity to bless many other churches around Caerphilly. So through our project, Club 707, our organization Club 707, they have the opportunity to bless working in schools and with different churches, because at the end of the day is not about Gateway. The Bible is clear that's one body and many parts. Gateway is just one part of that body. So yes, thank you, Courtney, for that. But my brother, Connor, a good friend of mine that I learned a lot from you, Connor. Yeah, a lot from you, and see how much you grow since you came here, 10 months ago, your confidence and I literally couldn't do talking about now the level 3, our discipleship group with the boys. I could literally not do that without your help and support, and I really, really appreciate you giving your time, and your energy and your enthusiasm to be and giving your best to this ministry. So what do you want to say to us, my brother?
Dang, bro, you fixing to make me cry. I don't want this to be like this has been such an amazing year. This has been not just for, just in my growth, but just being able to serve here and just see everybody that I, have encountered their growth, just seeing how the Lord has been working in so many youth here, man. Dude, every youth club, every going deeper, like I just am so pumped, no matter if we're in lockdown or not, I am pumped to do it. And yeah, like just being able to speak with y'all, be able to help y'all on y'all's journey has been such a blessing. Everybody from the leaders to even the kids club has been such a blessing. And dude, also the youth band, man. Well, man, I never thought that I would be able to do that, but God, man, all y'all in the youth band have like just made me so proud as a leader, so proud as a person who, is leading, because I'm a bass player. I'm not supposed to lead. But guys, y'all, this year has been so magical and so wonderful. I don't want to leave, man. But the Lord is leading me to the next season. But guys, I will never forget this. And yeah, thank you guys.
Oh, thank you guys. We have a Gareth Richards join us now as well, and had a message from Lynn Jones to you guys. Courtney and Connor, you have both been amazing, a wonderful God sent. So yeah, guys, you literally, you've been. It's really sad to say we don't know we're gonna see you again, but we know that whatever God has stored for you is gonna be amazing, and hopefully, I really pray that God would give us a opportunity in the future. Maybe we go to America, who knows, a trip, or you guys come back to visit us, whatever. But it's great to have you guys with us and blessing us. You're a blessing. That's a really special. That's, if I can put everything in one word, is a blessing. You guys being a blessing to us here in Wales and to our church. We are gonna come to an end, guys. You guys stay there, please. Don't go. We just want to say a big thanks, to everyone who took part, like Rosie, James, Ellie, and Rian, and of course, someone that's very special that you probably didn't see here on the screen, but is Claire Hills. She's always involved everywhere. So all the commenting that, all the posts that you see now on Gateway right now on YouTube is coming from Claire. So thank you, Claire. Here you go. She's over there. See? Where's Claire now? Where's Claire? Claire, show your face, Claire. Here we go. That's Claire. Thank you so much, Claire, for all the hard work that you do for this community, yeah, and for the church. And most of all, let's put church aside, but the time that you give to God, we know that your heart is for God and His kingdom. So thank you very much, guys. As I said, that's not going to be our last time. We really hope to do more things like this. I love it. It's really good fun. You know that thing is gonna maybe not going right all the time, but it's really good fun to be able to interact with you guys and try to answer some questions. Well done, tech team from Lynn Jones. Yeah, absolutely. The tech team is you cannot do without the tech team. So absolutely, thank you guys for your James and Claire for helping us on that. And of course, I didn't say Jess. I forgot about Jess and Jess as well. Is support and helping us this evening. So guys, God bless you all. Thank you for your support, and we definitely gonna do this again. Yeah, Courtney and Connor, thank you once again, guys. God bless you all, and see you soon. Not goodbye. See you soon. Yeah, see you next time. God bless you. God bless you. Go. God bless you all. Have a wonderful weekend. And why not, guys? Follow us on Instagram. Yeah, Gateway. We are on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Sign up, subscribe. Every week, something new there for you to see and to be blessed from us. So have a great evening, and God bless.